Namaskar. We are here in the city of Varanasi, the city between the two rivers Varan and Assi. The dwellers here called it Varanasi, the city beside the river Ganga. Ma Ganga, who is not considered as water or pani, but the goddess herself. She who comes and purifies everyone. Varanasi, the city of death, the city where the ashes of the ancestors are brought to the river Ganga itself. What better place than here to share with you the story of river Ganga. Come, listen, everybody. Just for you I have a story. Sometimes nice and sometimes scary. Sometimes nice and sometimes scary. Just for you I have a story. Come, listen everybody. Just for you I have a story. And this story takes us to a beautiful place north of the Himalayas, the wind-swept terrain that is today known as Tibet. High up in the mountains is a shimmering lake reflecting the rich moonlight. The lake of Sarovar, considered to have existed since the dawn of time itself. Manas, the mind, Sarovar, the lake, a lake born from the mind of Lord Brahma. Beside this lake, we see two people deep in conversation. An elderly man, large built, solid, almost with inscrutable expressions, and beside him, his loving daughter. Shifting from fluid to solid to different colors. Both of them were sitting about 5 feet above on the shore of the lake. Himavat, the king, the mountain king of Himalayas, and his daughter, Ganga. They were deep in conversation with Ganga being so thankful. Father, I am so happy to have a wonderful father like you. And Himavat replied, it is me, child, who's blessed to have you as my daughter. You have been gifted with an extraordinary gift. Whoever touches you, whoever you touch, will be purified, washed of their physical impurities, impurities of their mind, and impurities of the soul. Ganga was pleased to hear this, and in all innocence she asked, Father, now that I'm grown up, please tell me what is my destiny. And Father replied, the man who will tell you about your destiny is not yet born. Wait for that. But until now, ascend to the heavens, spread your sanctified purity and purify the gods, for the gods in the heaven are also impure. And so Ganga transformed into shimmering waterfall, a weightless waterfall that went to the center of the Manasarovar lake and ascended right up into the heavens. Himavat looked up and saw Ganga spread herself from horizon to horizon. The Akash Ganga, the celestial Ganga she came to be called, the Milky Way galaxy. Meanwhile, down on earth, life went on, wars and wealth making, floods and famines, rulers and commoners. Let us travel to the land of King Sagura. King Sagura was wise, just, powerful, efficient, but also vain and a little foolish. King Sagura had decided that having 60,000 sons, oh yes, those days were the magical worlds. He had 60,000 sons, which was as good as having an army of your own. So what would someone with foot soldiers and cavalry and strategists and tacticians want? But of course, to be the emperor himself. And so he decided to conduct the Ashwamedha Yagya, the famous horse ritual where the king takes his sure, enduring, fleet-footed horse, which roams through kingdoms. And if anyone has the courage to stop it and successfully stop it, then they will not have to surrender to the king. If not, when the horse goes through, the ruler of that kingdom submits to the king who has sent his horse, Ashwa, the horse. And so the horse of King Sagura, along with the 60,000 sons, went through lands, and for many years it traveled through kingdoms until nearly all of the earth had been conquered. And all that was left was for the horse to come back, and the closing ceremony, the ritual of closure of the Ashwamedha Yajna to be done, and King Sagura would be the most powerful king on earth ever. But as this was coming to a close, someone up in the heavens saw what was happening. It was Indra, the king of the gods. Now Indra worried, if this guy conquers all of the earth, he is going to set his eyes on my kingdom very soon. I better do something. And so, with his magical powers, Indra came up with a plot. He got the horse stolen with his magical powers and sent away to the kingdom, to the ashram of Sage Capella. Here were the 60,000 sons waking up in the morning and finding the horse nowhere in sight. Their father was furious and he said, "Go and bring the horse and don't you dare return without it." "Yes, father." The 60,000 sons went scouring all across the surface of the earth but couldn't find the horse. And finally, deep down in the netherworld, they reached a cavern. They saw, sitting on a stalactite inside the cave, a rishi deep in meditation. Such was the power of the peace and compassion emanating from him that the entire 60,000 sons became silent for a minute. But then one of them noticed their horse silently grazing there. "Our horse! This rishi has stolen it!" And without thinking, they did the most blasphemous thing. They accused the rishi of having stolen the horse. Even the universe paused for a moment in shock. But while the universe paused, the 60,000 suns were uncontrollable. As they expressed their anger over the Rishi, ever so slightly, opened his eyes. And in that gaze, with the depth of his penance of so many years, vibrations of anger released. They reached each of the 60,000 suns, and in a moment, a fire came up, and they were just mounds of ash. Back on earth, King Sagura, his heart felt the death of his sons intuitively. Heartbroken, he sent his grandson Anshuman. You are my hope. You have to ensure the redemption of your father and your uncles. Otherwise, they will stay eternally burning in hellfire. Anshuman set off, searching for his ancestors. He finally reached the ashram of the sage, begged for forgiveness, pleaded on behalf of his uncles, of his father. The Rishi said, well, they died because of their pride. No mortal on earth can help them. Only the river Ganga, the celestial river, can give them redemption. So Anshuman set off to pray for his ancestors. He spent an entire lifetime but was unsuccessful. As he died, he passed on the wishes of his grandfather to his son Dilip, who was also unsuccessful, and passed it on to his son Bhagiratha. Bhagiratha was so steadfast in his determination, he gave up his kingdom and said, I shall never return, citizens, take care of it. He went on to do penance for 1,000 years, praying to Ma Ganga. Standing for 1,000 years on one leg in Vrukshasana and with his arms folded up, he was finally blessed by River Ganga's presence. She came down to him like a little happy bird. And with her cheerful, generous spirit, she asked, what is it you seek? And then Bhagiratha told her, I request you to please come down on earth, Ma Ganga, and purify the souls of my ancestors and of humanity itself. We need you. Ganga understood at that very moment the words of her father. Here was the man who had come to tell her about her destiny. I am most happy to come, she said, but there is a problem. My force is so strong that the earth cannot handle it. The earth will break asunder and go flying out of its orbit. You need to ask Lord Shiva to hold me as I descend. Even after 1,000 years of penance, Bhagiratha did not give up. He now began his penance to Lord Shiva. Bholinath, they call him. One who is very easy to please, who has no desires himself, but is willing to fulfill the desires of his bhaktas, his devotees. And so began the meditation, this time standing on his toes with his arms raised up. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivaya. Lord Shiva was instantly pleased, but he decided to wait for 1,000 years so that humanity will understand what patience and determination can do. Bhagiratha, the one who had gone ahead with absolute focus and concentration on his goal, giving up everything else with steadfast determination to his one and only goal. Tivra samveganam asana. When you go with steadfast determination, the universe will arrange itself to fulfill your dream. And so it was that Shiva agreed. He opened his matted locks and set it to receive River Ganga. A shimmering waterfall descended down from the heavens onto the matted locks of Lord Shiva sitting in the Himalayas. Ever so gently and with all his strength, Shiva received Ma Ganga. She had the extraordinary gift that anything she touches, anyone she touches will be purified. And this time, Ganga herself was sanctified when Shiva touched her. She needed that to be able to serve the purpose of purifying all of creation. And from here, gently he released her on earth, the place known today as Gangotri. She came flowing down from Gangotri to Rishikesh, to Haridwar, to Varanasi right here, and further down all the way to Ganga Sagar, where she meets the ocean. 1/6 of the human population is nurtured and nourished by the beautiful Ganga Ma. Let us remember her, be thankful to her, for she is the one who continues to purify all of creation. And she shall do it as long as the moon and the sun shine in the sky. Until then, as citizens of the 21st century, let us remember it is also our duty to keep Ganga pure. Namaste. आकाशे गंगा सूर्य चंद्र तारा संध्या उषा कोणी ना નથી